AATBirds Weekly Report is the Eagle news, notes, and analysis you need. All about the birds. It's all birds, all the time.
And welcome in tonight or morning, depending on when you're watching this. AATBirds Gameplan. We're going to break down the Eagles-Giants. We do need to talk a little bit about the Eagles' loss to the Denver Broncos. They are 4-1 now. Tough game. Had a lot of the, I don't know if I texted you. It had a lot of the Carolina 2018 game. It just had those vibes of it.
What about the game gave you those vibes?
The score in general, and then the way that, like, the beginning of the game, like the first three quarters, you're able to stop the Broncos offense and, hold them down. That's what the Eagles did in that season, that game. They were able to stop Cam Newton, and then all of a sudden it just seemed like the drive started happening on the defense, and they just worked their way down the field, scored, and it just was like, okay, now the game is out of reach. And it's not that it was out of reach, because it wasn't, but it just felt like what the Eagles were doing offensively was just putting the ball back in the hands of Denver so much quicker than it needed to be. Needed to run the ball more. And, we're going to get into a little bit into the Giants game, but one thing I will make a note of is I want to see more A.J. Dillon. Like, give me 5-6 carries for him, because it seems like every time he runs the ball, he's getting 6-7 yard chunks.
Yeah.
Like almost like that Jordan Howard type of like run when, he was on the Eagles. That big body back that just was, up into the hole, and he would fall forward and get you 3, 4, 5 yards just falling forward. So, stuff like that. There's a couple things I do want to go over. We don't have to dive too much deep into that game, get into kind of the week 6 that we have here against Thursday night matchup at that piece of shit MetLife turf. I don't want any injuries. So, we have that, but
prayer circle. We'll do a prayer circle at the end.
It's what we need to do. A couple of positives I do want to bring out of it is one is Azeez Ojulari.
Dude,
I don't believe he needs to be a healthy scratch at all, because to me he showed some juice. He showed good prowess in the run game. Like, I saw things out of him that was intriguing, and I want to see more. And that's where I think he needs to be on the field more and to be able to show his talents, because I think he has, especially this week against a former team in the Giants. I'd love to see him do some damage against his former employer.
Yeah, and he knows those guys, right? He knows that offensive line. He knows their weaknesses. He's probably giving some good scouting tips to the guys. And to your point, he'll be extra fired up, just like Saquon was last year, and I'm sure he is again this year.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know we were hitting each other up during the game, and I turned to my sister and I at the game, and I was like, dude, that's I think his first rep was a tackle for a loss, if I'm not mistaken, or one of his first reps. So he had I don't have it in front of me, but I'm pretty sure he had 3 tackles, 1 tackle for a loss, and he might have had I believe
he had a quarterback hit.
He had a QB hit. Did he have a deflection? I feel like he did.
I don't know. I'm trying to think out.
Either way, he was playing limited snaps and was disruptive in those snaps. So it was a welcome sight to a struggling position on our team. And one thing I will say, and I was talking to a couple of other friends about the pass rush. I think the biggest thing to help the pass rush, obviously the secondary holding their men longer and holding in coverage longer helps the pass rush. But for the edges specifically, we have one player that has a sack.
Yeah.
Right. And that's Zadarius Smith, and he has 1.5.
1.5. Yeah.
Right. So I think the solve for the woes in the pass rush is the interior. I think that interior offensive or defensive line needs to get more push. And why we saw guys like Nolan Smith and Jalix Hunt have so much success in the playoffs specifically is because Jalen Carter was unblockable.
Yeah.
Like they're putting two guys on Jalen and he's still breaking through and causing chaos and forcing the quarterback out of his pocket. So I think Ojulari had a great game, but one of the things I want to touch on later today and what I want to see out of the Eagles is that interior rush.
Yeah. And I think it's tough too because as you saw, the Jalen Carter has heel, limited practice. He's battling a shoulder injury. Like, how healthy is he? And it's going to be tough because then you're relying a lot on Jordan Davis and Moro Ojomo. Young is there, but he doesn't give you all that much in the pass rush.
He's up too. He's got a tricep.
So you're going to see more of Ty Robinson, especially on pass rushing downs. Maybe they bring up Gabe Hall. I believe you're going to see Gabe Hall elevation this week.
Oh, I agree.
Just to give that depth in the interior. Because when you look at the game, there's some injuries that came about. It was, of course, Landon Dickerson, like a high ankle sprain. He's battling the knee, of course. He had the back surgery in the offseason.
Yeah,
he's just been super, super dinged up. My thought on it is let him sit out a couple weeks, and then after the bye, let him be back after the bye. It gives him a month.
Yeah.
Just
I would not put him on IR, but I would let him sit until after the bye. Because you have Giants, Vikings, Giants, bye.
Yeah. And then Packers, I believe.
Yeah. And plus he gets 10 days after this game. Like it'll be basically like they had him on IR without having him miss an extra game. Yeah.
And I think that's definitely something that I would definitely look into for him. Grant Cacotera, oblique. Yeah, okay. Maybe the run game will be better if he's not on the field missing blocks. Unfortunately,
they're still going to use 13 personnel. And it's going to drive me nuts.
Yeah, that's true. But
looking at the thing about Carter, real quick, is like he has the shoulder injury. Heel makes me nervous.
Like a Achilles type of thing. You're worried about one step, wrong step.
Right. And especially on MetLife, like I wouldn't be shocked if they sat him this week and got him right for the Giants game or for the Vikings game. He's questionable. They marked him as questionable, which doesn't mean he's going to miss the game, but it's not nothing either. That heel makes me nervous whenever I see a heel because that's the first thing I think of is Achilles, and especially on MetLife.
Yeah.
I don't know that I'd chance it, to be honest with you.
When you look at the offense as a whole, like Devontae had a pretty good game. You had, Dallas had a touchdown. Like it's just the tough part is the ebbs and the flows. Like it's not consistent enough. And especially in the second half when the Broncos change up the defense, they don't play as much man anymore. They're playing more of the zone defense, and they're not like run the ball. Especially when you have a 14-point lead, why aren't you running the ball and trying to chew as much clock as you can? And of course, the miscues aren't helping you. Legal man downfield. Yeah. You have Barkley not coming set because the play clock is running too low, and you have all these issues. And yes, the pass interference at the end of the game that should have been called. I get that. Yeah. The Zach Bond hit that sucked because it would have been a field goal. You'd have over 2 minutes left to go down the field. That sucked. Yes. The intentional grounding that was picked up and all that stuff comes into play. I get that. But again, you kind of shot yourself in the foot on the fact that all these 3 and outs, and it's just time and time again. And of course, the penalties and the miscues and all that stuff that come into play because it is a part of the game. But refereeing in general, if you look at all the games, like the Sunday night game with the Patriots and the Bills it was 19 penalties. It was horrendous. Like all the penalties are, and to me, this is what it is. It's a byproduct of one, you can't pad up in practices. You can't do, actual practices. You can only have a handful. The preseason games, nobody plays. You have all the backups, second, third, fourth teamers playing. So you're not getting actual real reps. Yeah, you could play these practices, these joint practices. That's all basically all like you're already predetermined what you're doing and stuff like that. Like it's not a game. So my thing is, if these guys would actually play a half or two in the preseason to get themselves, because we see the first 5-6 weeks of the season, it's nothing but penalties and trying to tackle better and trying to learn, trying to do this and trying to learn with the offense and trying to do all this different stuff. And the product of the football product is not what it should be. Yep. And then you start seeing it towards the middle end of the year, but
I don't disagree.
Too many penalties.
I don't disagree, but I don't know that that has to do with the level of play. I think that it has more to do with an emphasis on refereeing. Like, come on, man. Like, I'm not normally it's the refs, because you have a ton of plays to make up for that, and generally when they miss a call or make a bad call, there's generally a like ball don't lie moment or a moment where the refs will kind of make up for that. But you just rattled off like 4 game-changing plays. Like it wasn't these little ticky-tack, ineligible man downfield, or I stepped out of bounds. These were like game-changing, game-altering plays that they missed. They missed my buddy sent me a million screenshots and shit, and I still think that DeJean hit was a fumble.
I forgot to even say that one. I forgot to say that.
You can't convince me otherwise. You can't convince me otherwise. Gene's territory, I love him, but like he's wrong. It's a fumble. The Dotson catch that they ruled a non-catch was a catch. The intentional grounding that they called no grounding and then non-grounding again. Should have been grounding.
The question with the grounding call, it's funny, is when you look in the bylaws and what they've said that the booth can review and everything. Now, I guess what the referee from the pool report said, Adrian Hill, I think that's his name, what he was saying was that the official to official communication wasn't working, and that's why it was changed, because the booth cannot, the ball did not go past the line of scrimmage, so the booth cannot come and say, oh, that wasn't intentional grounding because there was a guy there. Well, the ball never reached the line of scrimmage, so you can't do that. That whatever was called on the field should have stayed.
Right.
And Romo, even in the booth, what he was saying was, as a quarterback, you could just throw the ball behind you and hopefully someone's in the area and it's not intentional grounding when you're just letting it go because you're just throwing it away because you don't want to get sacked. Like, my thought of it was this: the Goddard play, why wasn't that a makeup call for the number of calls that were missed? You know what I mean?
And it wasn't
a makeup call because he had his, and they said they were hand fighting. I'm not sure what constitutes I can't even talk. What is hand fighting? Because when you're getting your jersey pulled and you can't turn to where the ball's being thrown, that's a pass interference.
I don't know what they were seeing where they're like, oh yeah, no, like both players had an equal opportunity to it. I mean, he was being tackled to the ground. I just listen. I want to make it clear. I don't generally complain about the referees. I'll complain about a bad call and whatever, but like I won't typically say like that made that much of an impact on the game, because again, you have a million other plays to make up for that. But we just rattled off 5, 6 like pivotal plays and calls and no calls that were clearly the opposite of what was called and or called again after review. So
what's even funnier though is at the end of the game, when you was on CBS and stuff, they showed the Denver's locker room. And it looked like it was a bunch of smoke, like they had cigars or something that they were smoking. They were
playing and then, they circled the buses.
Well, the funny thing is they circled the buses. And, maybe it's just, Sean Payton wanted to just drive around because he was just reminiscing on how shitty of a quarterback coach he was back in 97 and 98 when he was with Bobby Hoying and couldn't make him anything. To have to go over to the Giants then. And, that's probably what it comes down to. Because But no, it's just whatever, because
that's a perfect dichotomy of what this year is going to be.
No doubt.
Every team is giving us their best shot. We are everybody's Super Bowl. And that's the target, that's the cross we have to bear as defending Super Bowl champions. And I have nothing wrong with that. Flaunt your shit. Like, you won. Did you deserve to win? Absolutely not. And are there talking heads and experts that are saying that the Eagles were robbed? Yep. But there's nothing we can do about it.
Nope.
Game's over. We move on. But I do want to say that it was absolute horseshit refereeing.
Yeah, it was
Fine me.
Really bad. Yeah, exactly.
Fine me.
As we go on into short week, so you got to get, which to me, I like short weeks and the fact after a loss you can get right back on to get the W.
Yeah.
It'll be a nice 10 days to worry about W. Now, you got the Giants coming in. Giants dropped to 1-4 as they lost to the winless Saints and Spencer Rattler. So the Giants have their own issues because Darius Slayton had a hamstring injury. Now, they already lost Malik Neighbors the week before, so they were already down their best receiver. And, of course, Jackson Dart, the rookie, is the quarterback. But when you take a look at their receiving core right now, it's Wan'Dale Robinson, Jalen Hyatt, Bo Collins, and Gunnar Olszewski.
Bless you.
Not very good. Yeah, sorry. Tyrone Tracy was off the injury report, so it looks like he will be back. I can see him lining up in the slot because he used to be a receiver for Purdue. They're going to try to get some of their playmakers that they have left the ball. Of course, Theo Johnson, the tight end, had 2 touchdowns last week, so he's a guy that you're going to have to keep an eye on. But
Penn State boy.
2 of their backup linebackers are both out as well, and Flanagan Fowles and Swazi Bozeman.
Yeah. Is that Swayze?
Swayze Bozeman, not Swazi.
Swayze,
yeah, probably. Swayze Bozeman. So, and of course, they had lost a guy that I liked. I thought he was a hell of a player in inside linebacker Micah McFadden. Out of Indiana. Pretty good player there. Of course, Chris Board was another inside linebacker who they lost as well. I know he's not sure when he can return.
Niners guy?
Ravens guy, I believe. And of course, Bryce Ford Wheaton, another receiver that for them that is on IR as well. So, they've got some issues there in terms. It's funny though, they have Neville Hewitt on their practice squad, the former Jet and Houston Texan. So I'm sure he'll be called up. And they've got a couple of receivers. Probably Smith Marset will get called up. That's my guess on that. But when you look at their team, it's just like their pass rush is insane. You can't say anything about it, like anything else about it. Their defensive line and pass rush is probably one of the best in the league. When you have Thibodeau, you have Brian Burns, Dexter Lawrence, Abdul Carter. But the thing about it is, if they don't get home, their secondary is a problem for them.
And they have some injuries on their secondary. Javon Holland and Andrew Phillips, I believe, are on the injury report. So,
okay. So,
but I do that pass rush is like on paper, that pass rush is filthy. Burns, I think, is top 5 in the league in sacks. I think he has 5.
Mm-hmm.
And then to your point, they have Tibbs. They got who's on the trade block apparently, Carter, and then don't forget Dexter Lawrence
in the middle there.
Dexter Lawrence against
Cam Jurgens and
Toth. God, I couldn't think of his name. Dexter Lawrence against Toth is a fucking nightmare. That's not a matchup you want to see.
Yeah,
that's not good. And Jurgens is banged up. That's where my concern would be on the offensive line.
And again, I wouldn't be surprised, of course not this game, but after this week, if the Eagles don't add Sua Opeta, who was released by the Bucs practice squad, because he knows the system, he knows the team, he can play guard, kind of gives you that extra option, depending with the Dickerson thing. It just gives you another guy, especially with Kenyon Green signing with Baltimore, and you don't have him anymore to be on your practice squad. All they have right now is the practice squad is a bunch of like undrafted free agent guys.
What about Limpkin? Is he coming back at all?
See, I don't know. I don't know
they never said anything about like the severity of his injury and how long he'd be out.
They just put him on IR.
They were just like, yeah, he's on IR now.
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see with him. I don't know. But it's going to be, I think, one thing too, like the big matchup that I'm thinking about here, of course, is when you look at the Eagles secondary, like you're going up against a super depleted Giants team. But one thing that you're going to have to do, which I believe with the linebackers that they have, and of course, Nakobe Dean looks like he will be playing. So not sure how that employs. I know we talked a little bit about that.
I'm super interested to see that. Yeah.
I'm very interested to see what they do. But like Jackson Dart's a guy that will take off if he sees the opening. But of course, the Eagles do have athletic linebackers. So it's just making sure that you keep him in the pocket and make him try and beat you and stop in the run game. Cam Scatabo and Tyrone Tracy. So it's, don't take the Giants for granted because they do have some players, but again, they're not a well-equipped team. So if you're able to take advantage and punch them in the face first and get, a 10-point double-digit lead on them quick, it could be one of those games where it just spirals out of control for them, which would be a great thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm with you, and they haven't had a good offensive line since what 2012. Like that, I can't remember last time the Giants had an offensive line where you were like, wow, like they're a bunch of beasts. They have
a bunch of journeyman guys right now,
they have some players, right?
Andrew Thomas is a solid left tackle. Their centers. Runyon. Okay, second round pick. The left guard Runyon's okay. Greg Van Roten's just a journeyman guard. Jermaine Illuminor is okay at right tackle. Like they're not great players. They're okay.
We should be able to beat them up on the defensive line. I'd like to see the pass rush get going. I'd like to see the game. We've heard it for decades now. Like sacks come in bunches. Once you start getting them, people start feeding off each other. They want one. I think this would be a good game to potentially get on track from a pass rush perspective. And I'm super interested to see what they do with Dean and if that has any impact to the pass rush, right? Like, because A, he's a good blitzer, and B, if they have him on the field, do you have all three linebackers on the field, like we've said, and drop Bond or Campbell down as an edge rusher, depending on the strength of the formation? I've said this a couple times. What if you line up? What they like to do in nickel specifically is line up in a 4-2, and then just depending on motion or the strength, they'll drop Bond down to that side, and they'll use him as an overhang defender and essentially make a 5-man front. It would be interesting to see if they do something similar. Let's say the Giants come out in a 2-back, they come back in 21 formation with Scatabo and Tracy. Do you put all three linebackers on the field and have Campbell and Dean back there?
I would.
Up the line. Like it'll be interesting. I think.
Or if they line up with, 12 and 13 personnel, because not having the amount of receivers or the playmakers, Jalen Hyatt is a guy that is a speedster, but what else is he really like? Wando Robinson's more of a slot guy, and
which is exactly what you want. Like Quignon and
Olszewski isn't really. They're not like great. They're just guys. So it's like, do they go with Theo Johnson and Bellinger, kind of like more heavier set? And if they do that, do you go ahead and go with three linebackers? It's going to be interesting to see how it deploys and what it does. But I think the one main thing for Dean is having him on special teams, because I think that's going to help you. Yeah. And listen, Cam Latu is a hell of a special teamer. He had that nice tackle, open field tackle. He is playing. That was a really
prayer, by the way. That was an absolute prayer. I don't know if you saw that play, but he was like, I got him, and then he put on this like nice little stutter step, and Latu was like, oh shit, and he dove and like
all six of them got it.
Grabbed his shoelace and like it was. Like he's lucky he made that tackle, to be honest, but it was, at the same time, that was a great tackle. That was a good play. But he's been an awesome special teams player, and I've been saying it for weeks. He deserves tight end 2 reps.
Yeah, I would agree with you.
He's the best blocker outside of Goddard.
I absolutely agree with you on that. So it's looking. We talked about that. The keys to the game. We kind of brought up the Eagles injury report. I think it brings us to one of our favorite
Let's talk about
segments.
the uniforms too.
Okay, we can talk
We're
about
getting
uniform.
the interracial uniforms. We're getting the green helmets, white jerseys, black pants. That's an elite. That's one of the elite pieces of our closet. I think. I love this uniform combo.
Yeah.
Love
Listen,
it.
I want to see. Yeah, you and I have talked back and forth. I want to see different combinations.
Mhm.
I would like to see the all green once at least. I know you're not a fan of that.
Well, it's not going to happen.
Give me the green with the black
Lori's
pants.
come out and said he doesn't like them.
Give me the green with the black pants. Or
the black with the white pants.
white pants. Do the
There
opposite.
you
I think that needs to come in. All right, how about this? The black with the white pants and the black helmet, and do that when you play the Giants in 2 weeks.
What is it with the Eagles and wearing black against the Giants?
I'll tell you after this.
Okay.
I have an opinion on it, but
they're
I'll
not
tell you
going to
after.
wear they're not going to wear black. They're not going to wear the all blacks because they already have what 3
Black Friday.
They have
That's when they
3
wear the
Kelly
all-black.
Green games. They have to wear black on Black Friday. They have to.
Yeah, I agree with you on that.
It's
Yeah.
a huge missed opportunity if they don't. Anyway.
You know what? I'll agree with you there. So then just go all green. Or no, green with the black pants.
Yeah.
Green with the black pants, right?
I'm in.
Um,
I'm in.
But it brings us to one of our favorite segments.
It's time for the Eureka-Locks of the week. Who's your lock?
Alrighty. Our Eureka Locks last week were very bad.
Not great.
The Jets to beat Dallas. I don't know what the hell I'm thinking because the Jets are absolutely complete and utter trash.
So are the Cowboys.
Yeah, so are they. But the Jets losing actually does help the Eagles, as I've mentioned to you through text message. The more the Jets lose, the better it is for the Eagles because, as one of the stipulations to the Hassan Reddick trade, they have the Jets' third-round pick next year. So as of it stands right now, it is literally number 66, which is essentially a late second-round pick.
It's a hell of a pull there.
Which is great. So yeah, you had Vandy beaten in Bama. Yeah, didn't happen.
Yeah.
So it brings us to this week. Of course, we're making our picks a day early since the Eagles play on Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, you could do any game. It doesn't have to be the Eagles game. It can be the Eagles game, but again, whatever you would like. I'm going to let you go first.
Yeah. Well, I am taking the boys, my young boys, out to the west side of the state. We're going to go to Pittsburgh, and we're going to catch Duquesne's homecoming where they play the St. Francis Punks. And I'm going to take Duquesne over St. Francis on homecoming by 10-plus points.
Wow. So since you're going with that, I'm going to go with
Lehigh Pigeons.
Number 8 team in the FCS right now. And they are going
Looks
to
good.
Columbia to play the 1 and 2 Columbia Lions. I think that's the hell their names is.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Dude,
but
we beat Columbia. You should be able to handle them.
So-
that's a good pick.
Columbia posted on social media how they haven't allowed a passing touchdown yet this year. Made a big graphic and everything. Listen, it's been 3
boy.
games. Well, Lehigh will win, and they will have at least 2 passing touchdowns.
All right.
So
I like it.
which now brings us to the Eagles-Giants prediction. Our prediction. I'll go
Yeah.
first.
Yep.
So I think this is a get-right game for the Eagles. I think it falls great. Play the Giants.
Yeah.
And, a Giants team that is banged up. They are banged up. They're hurting a little bit. Tough loss. Eagles coming off of a tough loss. I think it's going to make the Eagles pretty pissed off. And unfortunately, the Giants have to take the brunt of that.
Yeah.
Now, with that, I have the Eagles taking this game 34-17.
Wow, that was very close to what I was going to pick. I'm the same way. I think this, if they play pissed off, which I know they will, and they stay healthy, which I hope they do, on MetLife Field. I just want them to come out with no injuries. That's really the only thing I want.
True.
Win or lose, I just obviously I want them to win, but I just want to come out with no injuries. But I think if they play the way they're supposed to and they stay healthy, I think they come out of this 28-13.
Nice. Listen, I could use one of those games. A game you win by double digits, 10, 14 points. I think it would just be, good for everybody. To, and that's what essentially the get right game.
My prediction here is that the run game and the pass rush get a little bit of a groove.
Okay. I'll take that all day. But with that, I want to thank everybody for joining us. Again, make sure you're subscribing. All the channels are at the bottom there. X, Instagram, YouTube. Make sure you're subscribing. Make sure you're getting all the insight to everything all about the birds. Just make sure you're following along. We appreciate it. And, we'll be back as we always are. And we'll break down this game. It won't be after the game. It'll probably be, him and you and I will talk about it, whether or not sometime this weekend, maybe break down a game and everything. But, with that, as we always do, we always end it with a very happy and joyful Go Birds.
Go Birds.
This is Matt Ware. Hey, for all the Eagle content you need, go follow All About the Birds. They do a damn thing. Check them out.
Hey, Eagles fans, I may be in Tampa, but I know where to find the best Eagles content out there. Check out my friends at All About the Birds.
Philadelphia, what's up? This your boy Freddie Mitchell, a.k.a. Fred X. It's all about the bird.
All birds all the time. All birds all the time.
All About the Birds provides you with weekly analysis, game recaps, informative interviews, and it's all birds all the time.